A lot of us know the month of October for many fun things, a lot of festivities, especially Halloween. But did you guys know that October is also National Cybersecurity Awareness Month? And this speaks to me in many ways because I am not someone who's tech savvy. I don't know anything when it comes to cybersecurity, how to keep my information safe, my laptop safe from hacking, or whatever it is that these hackers do in that cyberspace world, which is why we have a very special guest to explain what all of this is and how to keep ourselves safe from hackers is Alain Ghiai. Thank you so much for joining us, Alain. We appreciate it. You are a digital security expert and also the CEO of GlobeX Data. Thank you again for joining us. Now, I guess, where do we start? Talk to us about what is cybersecurity.
Thank you, Roxanne. Great being with you all. So, yes, I am the CEO of GlobeX Data. We are a cybersecurity and data protection company. Cybersecurity is a big word, but essentially it's the science of securing any kind of communication and data, which could be anything from an email to an important document in the cyberspace and on the internet. It's really as simply as that. Communication aspect of it is what's important because we do communicate through our devices, and cybersecurity can protect you, or in the malicious way, cyber hack will essentially attack you through your action of communicating inside and outside of your device.
When I think of cybersecurity, I always think of computers, laptops, that kind of stuff. But can somebody hack you on your mobile device? Since I think a majority of us now do everything off our cell phones, can you get hacked that way?
Absolutely. I mean, the desktop now is almost like a fax machine 10 years ago. So I use a laptop, actually a few, but mobile devices are the most widely used device in the world because both in the very developed economies and the developing world, it is a lot cheaper to use a mobile device and to buy one. And the phone plans are a lot cheaper than having a desktop and a laptop. And we do live in a mobile society. So the mobile devices, they have two things that are not good. A, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And B, they have very little processing power to protect you from a hack.
Wow. So long story short, yes, your phones can be hacked. And two, since it's not as powerful as a computer or a laptop, it can be hacked easier.
It's hacked easier, and also we have a part to play in it because human behavior is basically half of the problem because we're always on social media. So I always tell people, reduce your social media to a minimum.
Wow.
Instead of updating your status every minute when you go and get your Starbucks or go to your gym or to your bank because, yeah, it's fun. But at the end of the day, you have to start thinking, is that update really critical? Is it important? Because now you're giving information to a machine someplace that will collect it and use it against you.
You know, you bring up an interesting point, Alain, because a lot of times we post things that we don't really think twice about posting. And once you upload a photo or once you post a status on Facebook or on Twitter, that's always there. Am I wrong in saying that, or am I right? Because no matter what happens, even if you decide to one day delete that photo or delete that tweet, can someone still access them?
Yes, so you're very right in that. Information on the internet is like an ink that will never erase. Now, European laws are trying to protect consumers and trying to force Google. They tried recently to force Google to delete completely the information from European citizens. I think in France they tried that. Google won the case, so they don't have to.
Wow.
Essentially, even if they say they will, and you have on Facebook, I think, some kind of privacy modes now, but it's a bit of a joke because that information resides on the servers of the big social media companies, and there's no legal obligation for them, at least in the U.S., to delete it permanently. And on top of that, even if there would be a law, you have to implement it and you have to monitor it, and there is no system for that whatsoever.
Joining us on 710 KURV is Alain Ghiai. He's a CEO of GlobeX Data, also a digital security expert. And I don't know if y'all know this, but October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, so we're bringing awareness to, I guess, ways to protect ourselves and our data. One thing I do want to ask you for sure, Alain, is when it comes to public Wi-Fi, because I know I'm one of those people that when I'm at Starbucks or when I am at hotels, I'm using their Wi-Fi. What are, I guess, the pros and cons of doing that?
Well, there's only cons essentially.
There are no pros. Okay.
No, there's no pros whatsoever because we have good plans in the U.S. Unlimited almost, and you can use your 4G, and it's a lot basically safer to use your own phone plan. We've been in a habit of using Wi-Fi. The reason why people use Wi-Fi, and especially millennials and younger people, essentially is because they like to stream. So on Wi-Fi, it is faster sometimes, but it's also unlimited. If you use your phone plan, your phone data, you may not be able to stream some Netflix movie. But for general purpose, I would use your 4G or what you have. Don't use the Wi-Fi. Definitely don't use a free one, even if it says it's secure. Hotel Wi-Fis are totally hackable, very easily hackable. You can use a secure Wi-Fi in an office environment where they have an IT manager running things. That's different. I would not use a public Wi-Fi or a hotel Wi-Fi. And I should mention that GlobeX Data, it's the one place that if you delete your information, it will be gone for good because we wipe it clean from our servers. And we host all our data in Switzerland because we are Swiss-based and we have our Canadian publicly traded company now actually in the U.S. as well.
That's awesome.
But all the servers are in Switzerland. And in Switzerland, we have the strictest privacy laws in the world. So if you use a service of a Swiss-based company where the servers are in Switzerland and you delete it, and if they say it will be wiped out, this is a legal obligation. They can't lie to you. But that's 1 in a million, right? These are paid services, which I would like to add one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
We are used to having free things and instant. The more it's free and easy and instant, the more insecure it is.
So
if you're looking at protecting yourself, I have a couple of very basic suggestions. First, try to get a privacy, like an identity theft protection tool. There's many companies that sell those from $9 to $29 a month, and they come with certain tools that will protect your privacy. They have maybe better browser, a VPN, or a secure internet, and at least you're alerted a little bit if there's somebody that intruded into your social security number or what have you. And also use a secure Wi-Fi, a paid service, a paid email service, because the email needs to be highly encrypted. And I'm not talking about the mass market encryption. I'm talking about a real professional encryption. And number one on the list, reduce your social media footprint. And also use complex passwords. Password management is a big thing. The most popular password is password every year. And the second one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's hilarious.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I've seen like football, password. You mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E, etc. So to kind of recap what we're talking about, ways to protect ourselves on the internet. And one thing I'm also thinking is, I guess just because we live in a digital age, no matter how much money we put into protecting ourselves or no matter what services we have, I guess no one is ever really safe because of the technology features and just what digital is. Am I right in saying that no matter what we do, we're not always 100% safe when it comes to cyber hacking?
I agree. You are never 100% safe, and we always say that to our clients. But you know what? We can mitigate the risk.
Yeah.
We can reduce that risk. So instead of sending an open postcard when you send an email where everybody can read the content, at least use a FedEx envelope. It's kind of the analogy is that where at least there's a trace, most likely nobody's going to open the envelope, and that's important, but that costs money. So reduce your footprint. That will be good. Change your passwords frequently. Use a password manager. Don't use free Wi-Fi. Use your phone internet. It's plenty enough. And just be aware of what you're doing, in general, essentially. It's all about being it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and one has to be aware that your data is valuable. You don't want to be the product, which we are when we use those free email and free service. We become the product, and we produce data which is valuable for the company that gives you that free product.
That's listening to us, like Amazon and our iPhones. It freaks me out, Alain, when I am talking about something that I've never even Googled before, because I understand when you Google things, it follows you no matter what websites you're on. For example, I Google shoes, or I'm on 9west.com, and then I go to another completely random website like the Washington Post, and I see the ads for the shoes that I want. So I understand that. But when I am talking about certain things that I've never even Googled, and I kid you not, minutes later, it's happened to me where it pops up on my Instagram feed. That freaks me the heck out.
Yeah, that is freaky,
okay.
Because I think the Siri technology and the Alexa technology, which is also on your phone, I mean, there's a limit because technology is evolving. I think we are going far in that pendulum. I think the people are going to be more aware, and laws and things are going to change. So, companies are going to adapt. We have gone too far on that pendulum of carefreeness. Yeah. And I think now we're at the very, very tip of the iceberg to see what is the ramification of that whole free everything and I have nothing to hide, etc. So I don't recommend to have one of these Alexa devices or not, but if you have one, definitely if you have sensitive conversation or private conversation, I would be as far away as you can from those.
Wow.
But, you can't escape it 100%. And it's not about, I talk to people and they say, I have nothing to hide. And
but
the other day I
it's
told
not about that.
No, it's not about that. It's about privacy.
Yes.
And privacy is the last thing that we have left in the world, your intimate moment, your intimate privacy. And, if you have a device, this is a rule of thumb, if you have a device, you are valuable to a company. It's as simple as that.
Hopefully we'll have you on again soon because I know I have so many more questions for you. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. That was Alain Ghiai, the CEO of GlobeX Data and also a digital security expert, our guest on 710 KURV. And just to recap before we go, remember, reduce social media use, pay for a VPN, use complex passwords, always be changing them. Don't use password as a password or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pay for an email service because it has better encryptions on your emails, and don't use free Wi-Fi. This is A Drive Home on 710 KURV.